Hey there, my name is Dean Harris. I'm Vice President of Sales at CrestCore Realty. Welcome to the Investor's Guide to Memphis Real Estate Podcast, the podcast where we give out-of-state investors the boots-on-the-ground knowledge they need to be informed, savvy, and win in the Memphis real estate game. As always, I'm joined by Douglas Skipworth. How are you?
Man, great.
Douglas is our founder, principal broker of CrestCore Realty and our property management company. You're also our largest management client, so we always enjoy hearing that side of things. So welcome again. I am a licensed agent. Sometimes I move past some of these things on here. I'm a licensed agent, Tennessee and Mississippi. If you are buying or selling investment properties, I'm here to help you with that. You can shoot me an email, dean@crestcore.com. And I'll be happy to set up a call with you, figure out how I can help you either sell or buy some investment property. So today we're going to jump right into this. Last week's or 2 weeks ago, we did our zip code breakdown.
Yeah.
Incredible show. Everyone loves it. It's super popular. We've been emailing that thing out right and left. It's on the YouTube channel, Investor's Guide to Memphis Real Estate, so you can find it there. So I encourage you to go check that out. Very popular show.
Great.
Today, we're going to really hit a topic that I know you and I have been the last week or two really kind of talking about it without even knowing it was going to be in our podcast today.
Right,
so today's topic is don't waste another recession. You got to kind of be a little delicate when you talk about a recession because not everybody out there is in a position to take advantage of a recession.
Mm-hmm.
That's a negative, kind of thing in general. So when we are referring to this, we mean from an real estate investment standpoint of view. So don't waste another recession. We're going to talk about today, a little bit about what that means. So why can a recession be a good thing? Why, if we're going to sit here and kind of put a spin on it today that it's a positive thing, one of my first notes is why can a recession be a good thing for us? Like, what in your opinion, like when you hear that and you hear the topic or the today's title of don't waste another recession. Yeah. Tell me, what does that pop in your head?
Immediately, and what I think of is a recession focuses you.
Okay, that's great.
That's what it does. It gets you kind of some clarity of mind because you have to start eliminating distractions and honing in on what's most important. Mm-hmm. And those are the things that's what you're talking about when you're saying don't waste this opportunity.
Yep.
There's a great real estate coaching guru out there, been around forever, and he says a recession is a terrible thing to waste.
Yeah.
And that this is not this is the opportunity to dive deep in.
It is.
To refine some things, but
that's what I'm doing.
Yes.
I mean, when it says, when I say don't waste the recession, I mean, like things are going to get a little worse, meaning, housing prices can go down a little bit. There's going to be some investors that are in trouble. It's going to happen. I've already begun to see some of it. Right. So we're going to find investors in trouble. We're going to find mismanagement. We're going to find some of that. It's just part of it. In every cycle we see it, right? Like in 2008-9 when everybody mismanaged everything then, right? So we're seeing a little everything. So we're seeing a little touch of that now from an investment standpoint. We're not going to see what we saw in 2008-9, but we are going to see a sample of that. So let's don't miss that opportunity, Go ahead. I thought you were about to say something.
And I think there's a great quote. It might be Churchill. If not, this is Churchill-esque for sure. It's like, if you want peace, prepare for war.
Yeah.
And I've seen it translated to real estate investing or business in general of, if you want prosperity, prepare for adversity. So that's what we're talking about here. It's like, prepare for adversity. If adversity is coming, you need to do the preparation, and that leads to prosperity.
Some of those things to prepare for adversity are doing the things that we've talked about on this podcast, raising your rent to market rent.
Yes.
Talking to your bankers.
Yes.
Right here. Hey guys, right now I understand things are bad. By the way, I've already had these conversations with mine.
Yes.
As I'm telling you this, I've already had mine. Guys, I know things are going to the toilet. Some people are going to tell you, here's what I'm doing. I'm making sure that all my tenants are paying market rent when the lease comes up. I'm making sure the homes are in good condition. I'm trying not to spend any money on huge CapEx expenditures right now if I don't have to. If you have to, you have to. But if I don't and I can wait, I'm going to wait. So giving my bankers the plan and letting them understand that I'm out here and I'm fine.
Yeah, they don't have
so
to
to
wonder.
They don't have to wonder and think, wonder how Dean and his portfolio are doing out there.
You're keeping them updated.
I'm keeping them updated. You know, talking to your property management company, you know, like preparing for some things that can come up, some vacancies that you might see. I mean, just staying ahead. If you've got a little extra time, like we're working on this in the brokerage right now. This is another great example. This applies to investing in real estate, but I mean, like it applies to your business in general, really. And it's just working through the brokerage now on any of our systems and things that we're trying to get better at right now. Is this the right thing and the right way to do it? Is this the right email to send? All of the things that you might not work on if things are humming and busy, you're focused on now, right?
Yes.
Things are coming to light right now that might not come to light when you're busy or running or when the market's great and you're not thinking about things that can go wrong.
Yeah. And it could, you know, might be described as a potentially slower time, a calm before the storm. There's some opportunity here. I like to say, you know, occasionally everybody has an internet outage or something, or power goes out. I mean, it happened at our house the other night. 11 o'clock, power went out, came back at 11:30, whatever. So it just happens in life. So around the office, I'm always like telling people, I'm like, hey, internet's going to go out sometime. It might be down for 15 minutes, might be 2 hours. Save some paperwork, have something to do during that downtime instead of just sitting there refreshing, hoping the internet comes back up. Like, hey, have something you can do offline, right? And so this to me is like an internet outage. And it's like, what are the things you're going to do
if that happens?
And if you want you've given some really practical advice for investors. And I kind of thought about some other things. It's like, you know, on the deal front, like looking for deals is like refine your model, like whatever your model is, whatever cap rates you're using, whatever assumptions you're making for taxes, insurance, maintenance, management, like look at that model and make sure that your numbers are tight.
Yes.
You know, and then listen to the zip code challenge. Like use this time
to educate yourself.
Educate yourself. Deep dive into those areas as you have a little more time, as the deals aren't there or as you're sitting on the sideline, but you're getting ready, preparing. So talking about the financing side, keeping your bankers up to date, looking at trying to build new banking relationships potentially. Just because the bankers have time. Bankers aren't making loans right now to new borrowers. So they have opportunity to get to know you so that when they do open the doors, you'll be there and you'll be on that.
That's a great that's a great point to what I was trying to say. Like the bankers need to know what you're doing because the line of communication between you and them now is super important. They're okay when everything's fine.
Yeah.
They know you're buying great and they see whatever. But when things slow down a little bit, they want to know what you're doing. Well, I'm preparing. What are you doing? I'm running my systems. How do I buy? Is this the right way to buy?
Correct. Yep.
Is this the thing that I need to be doing? Do I need to buy this product? Right? Like,
yes.
And then am I buying it the right way? Ask other investors how they're buying.
Yeah.
You know, hey guys, how are y'all buying this? You know, we buy similar products. What are you doing? Cash? Are you loaning? What year? Whatever and whoever. Ask how those things are going and if you're doing them right. So buying areas, locations. Are you buying in the right locations?
Back to zip codes. Listen to if you want to expand your zip codes. If you want to hear what's going on in other zip codes, listen to the zip codes.
I always look to as your property source. If I'm not your source and there's another one, look to see who it is.
Yeah.
Look at me. Call me right now.
Yes.
Call me and set up a time right now, or email me and set up a time right now to talk. And hey, are we doing the right thing? Is this the time to adjust? Should I be? I had a conversation yesterday. This is why this podcast is good because I don't plan for half of what we're going to talk about. I was talking to a guy yesterday. He was like, man, I want to make sure my strategy's still good. I want to make sure that I'm still on point from what I'm looking at. It turns out after our call, we completely changed everything he was doing. And it wasn't because he was doing the wrong thing. It was just the right thing a year or two ago. It's not the right thing now. He needed to move up in his price range. He was struggling to get a property at a certain price range and the right tenant at a certain price range. This is a guy that owns a few.
Yeah.
And now he was like, Dean, I've been making offers for 3 months and not getting them. Let's have a call. Okay, man, sure. What do we need to do? After talking with him and his strategy and what he's going through, he needed to move up. Today's our first day to move him up. I'm interested to see if in the next week he doesn't pick one up. I bet he does.
Love it.
So those are some of the things that are important right now that you can be doing.
That's great. You're right. We talked about that the other day. Goals stay the same. Plans change. You know, we don't change our goals. We set our goals and we go to hit those. We don't lower the goal. We up the plan, or the road moves and
we're doing it now.
Yes.
In the brokerage,
you're working with it. Hey, I wanted to have a couple more practicals for that. And now when you're managing that property, look at your property tax value. Look at your property tax value and be prepared to appeal your tax value.
That's great.
When the time comes. You know, look at your insurance policy and make sure you've got the coverages that you want. Maybe you have some things that you want. Maybe you need to add some things. Maybe you need to subtract some things. Maybe you need to up a deductible, lower a deductible. You know, we've talked a lot about leasing and terms of prices and length of leases. So look at all that. Be on top of it. Look at your maintenance. Look at your CapEx. Do some planning. Use this time to catch up on all that stuff that you never have time to catch up on. Whether it's paperwork or if it's more strategy-wise or more things tactical that are going to help you execute the strategy better. So this is a great opportunity. Stephen Covey, ring a bell, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yep.
One of the 7 habits is sharpen the saw, because the blade gets dull when you're working so hard. And what do? You come over here, you take a break, and you sharpen the saw. And that's what this is. You know, I mean, it's like this is the chance to sharpen the saw during the recession. I think that's what you're saying. Don't waste another recession.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Sharpen the saw. Sharpen the saw right now. That's what you should be doing.
And for the record, like, just to throw this out there, I like people to know this. You and I don't share notes.
No.
We don't. We share a topic, and we got a couple
some bullet points. So here's where we're going to go, and then we bring our own.
You have different notes than I, so that's why some of this is
good.
so good. But be sure your mindset's right.
Yes.
I wrote mindset because to me, mindset with real estate investing is key, because there's so many roller coasters with this. I'm having a not so hot day today.
I had one of those yesterday.
I've had just a couple of things that have gotten really under my skin today specifically.
Yeah,
so
I hear you.
It happens, right? So like, what do you need to do to make sure like your mind is right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, people don't think about their mindset when they're performing. All right. So I know this gets into a little bit of, you know, some off topic, but like you and I use sports analogies all the time. Yeah. And to me, your mindset coming into any kind of athletic competition is just as important as your physical preparation. Your mental versus your physical. To me, you know, everybody in the NFL is strong and fast. Everybody.
They will tell you that. The difference is the mental, not the physical.
If you looked at the Jets lineup, at one of the worst teams, and then you looked over here at the Rams, if you just look at those men physically, not much difference, man. I mean, not a lot of difference. Everybody's big and strong and fast, right? Everybody. The mindset of the Rams versus the Jets is completely different, and that's basically it. The mindset between an investor that knows what I know or has our experience is basically the difference in between succeeding and not. In my opinion, if your mindset is not there to be an investor, and what I mean by that is to prepare for some of the good and the bad. There's going to be bad things happen.
Yeah.
Are you woe is me, and are you like, wow, it's the market, and you no, like, or okay, how do I fix this, avoid this, and move on? I do this all the time in my own portfolio. How do I fix, avoid, and then move on?
Right.
I could care less. Like, so today's not a hot day. Like tomorrow I'll wake up and today will be completely forgotten when it comes to what's bothering me today. And maybe that's a skill set and I don't know it, right? I don't know, but I have a really good ability to do that. And I think that helps me with other areas. So
No,
if you're
I
that
think,
investor,
yeah, that's
go ahead.
good. I mean, you know, that Ted Lasso, I don't know if you've ever seen Ted Lasso, but I mean, it's popular. You'd love it because it's a coach. And he's like, be a goldfish. Goldfish, they forget. They have no memory, right?
Sure.
So it's like, just be a goldfish when you're out there playing, when you're out here doing just forget and move on.
Forget it
but
and move
learn
on.
it. But learn you from experience and move on. Don't dwell on the past.
Yeah.
Don't let it beat you down.
That's why you and I say this all the time. Like, we could sit here all day long and go, God, why didn't I buy 100 houses in 2013? Why didn't I buy 200 houses in 14? And why didn't I buy 315? Like, why do I not have 800 houses right now? Like,
Learn your lesson and move on.
and what have we talked about? Hey, now's the time to buy. Don't wait another year to do this.
Right.
Don't waste another recession. Get out there and get involved and get active. Have your mindset be right. Like, don't come into the mindset of, hey, the interest rates are high. There's low inventory. I don't need to invest. Man, that's actually, now's a great time to get involved. You can learn more and educate yourself more right now before having to jump right into it, because you don't see the race cars going by. The race cars aren't flying by you right now. It's a school bus. It's a school bus coming by. 30 miles an hour. Just wait. There'll be another one. You can get on it. My point is that you can do things now differently.
Correct.
To learn and help yourself and benefit for the later when things do become better, right? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep your eyes wide open. Opportunity will be knocking. What are some of the things when you think about making sure your eyes are wide open? Because this is huge. This is a key component of our podcast right now, or a key point, because being prepared and being ready and being willing to see it is the difference, right? I mean, to me, it is. Knowing, what does eyes wide open mean to you? Because then I have about 10 things I could say to this.
Yeah, I go back to just a couple of things that are similar concepts with Amazon, Jeff Bezos.
Yep.
If you read any of his shareholder letters, if you talk to, we got a ton of Amazon people who work here in Memphis. Maybe people don't know that. I mean, there are a lot of Amazon warehouses, a ton. One of my good friends is a manager out at one of the warehouses, lady I go to church with, and day one, everything at Amazon is day one. Like, it is, they view it as if they are just a startup. They're just getting started today. Today is day one. Eyes wide open, be prepared. Andy Grove, he's passed away, but he was the CEO at Intel, one of the founders, CEO, awesome, Silicon Valley. He's wrote some books, and one of his books is Only the Paranoid Survive. Yeah. So all of this, to me, it's all that concept of, like, you got to keep your eyes wide open. You can't rest in the sense of you've always got to be preparing for war if you want peace.
Yes.
So
I love it. And having that mindset, and some people say, what does that mean? I mean, you just can't get too high and too low. You know what I mean? Like, you can't get too high and too low. If something goes great, like, okay, keep moving. If something goes bad, okay, keep moving.
Right.
Like, that's the thing
point
with this, is because you're never going to reach your goals of, if you're out there listening, you want to get 50 houses, well, and you're on 3. If you're taking huge mood swings up and down, you're never going to get there.
Right.
Never.
Yeah. Take that long-term perspective. One step at a time.
If it's so good, you're gonna buy recklessly. It's so great. I'm just throwing out nets out there everywhere. And if it's so bad, you're gonna be so doom and gloom all the time. Like, I can never get there.
Yeah.
Try to stay as even keel as you can, knowing that things are gonna be good and things are gonna go bad, and you keep moving. Bill Belichick is the greatest.
Yeah.
He talks just like this on every single time, no matter if they won or they lost. It doesn't matter. He stays the same everywhere about topics and everything. It's just so monotone. And it's, I know you love it. It's an act. He's not really like that. But what he's trying to portray and to show is that nothing changes. So we won by 40, great. We lost by 40, we'll come back to work the next day. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. And you and I talk about Belichick and Saban and these guys. And the reason why is because it's just excellence, and you try to gravitate towards that. But
it was Bill Walsh, it was John Wooden. I mean, there's a history. Vince Lombardi. It's like they're winners, and here's what they've done for in professional U.S. sports for a century. But in world history, leaders have been doing this stuff for centuries.
Yes, it's easier for modern day to relate to that. But yeah, so keeping your mindset right, your eyes wide open, making sure that you're able to see deals coming, know what we're in. You and I do this all the time. We always say, don't lie to yourself.
That's right.
Know what we're in the middle of right now, and it is a recession. If you want to call it a housing market bubble busting or crashing or slowing or however you want to label it.
It's a slowdown for sure.
We're in something.
Yes.
You name it what you want.
Yeah, you call it what you want.
Yeah. We're in it. Recognize that we're in it and understand that you need to be prepared to come out of it.
Love it.
Because we're going to come out of it. Some way, somehow, it's going to get better.
And then we're going to go back in it. And then we're going to come out of it. And we're going to go back in and we're going to come out.
And I never believe this.
Being prepared.
I'm on 20. This is my 21st year doing this. And being a licensed agent, and I can now sit here and feel confident talking about that because I entered in it when it was good. I survived in it when it was bad, barely. I'm talking like hair of my chin here. Yeah. Survived it. Now saw it come back, and now I'm seeing it soften again. Yeah. So I mean, like, for me to sit here and go, hey, this is it, it's doom and gloom, like, that's what I mean by your mindset. So now what are we doing? We're refining our systems, and we're looking for deals, and we're waiting for opportunities. Like, we're just waiting. You're on the sidelines waiting for the right play to be called, and it's going to be called. So can you prepare your business and yourself? And if you're listening and you don't have any rental properties, then it's all about mindset.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's all about mindset. If you've got 20 properties, then it's about your actual homes and actions and your mindset. So you got to categorize yourself into whatever we're talking about here, and you might fall into all of it or you might fall into just a little bit of it. But it really just depends on where you're at. Because if I'm a guy trying to get into it, and I even have a little cash and I have some resources to get into it, but I haven't, well, what's not right? My mind.
Yeah.
I don't have the right mindset to get into this, and I don't have the right, either the education or knowledge or whatever it is, my mind's not right. Or if I'm in it messing this up and I'm wondering if I'm doing the right thing, or if I'm, questioning every decision I make, my mindset isn't right. I don't even have the guidance. There's something that person is lacking in their business, and you got to identify it quick.
Yes.
Or you're going to lose. You know what I mean? Like, we're barely hanging on to the game here. We had a 20-point lead in this basketball game. It's the fourth quarter. We're now only down by 3. You better change something, or you're going to lose. Yeah. And to sit there and to ignore it, I think, is the crime. To ignore it and to not do anything about it to adjust it, I think, is the crime.
Yeah, I mean, you just got me thinking, because it's like for beginners out there, or people who are learning and hearing us talk about these cycles and waves. I mean, I think about, I'm pushing 50, and I remember growing up hearing about the early 70s with the recession then, and gas prices, and then you get into the early 80s with more gas prices and inflation, and it was 18%, and it had to bust it, and then you have some early 80s recession, then you get to 86 and they changed some tax laws, and savings and loans went bad, and you had the 87 crash, and then, hey, the 90s were good. And so then I come out and I kind of just know history of that, but haven't experienced it. So then it's like we get the run up to the tech bubble, and then we have 9/11, and then we have the Great Recession, and then we have other things that happen, and then COVID happens, and then here we are today. And so, and then you start learning about stuff that happened before you were born, and seeing these repeat. This is all repeat. And at the time, I read a book, maybe in the past 6 months. Guy, he wrote it maybe about 1970. And he was an entrepreneur, and he was writing about his life. He was probably 70 years old. He was born about 1900, and a really cool guy, and had a great history. But he wrote about, he lost a son in 1918, Spanish flu. And it was a hard time for him, but it's probably a 200-page book. And the Spanish flu, and losing a kid during the Spanish flu was like 3 paragraphs. Kind of like COVID. Like, in the midst of COVID, you feel like
this is the only thing happening
in the whole world, and what ever. And then we're going to write a book on our life, in 50 years, and we're going to be like, oh yeah, there was a COVID thing, and it's just like a little paragraph in your 200-page book.
Right.
So it's like you got to have the right mindset to take advantage of the opportunities, to be eyes wide open.
Perfect.
Because it's always going to, and we're not Pollyanna, pie in the sky, like it's going to be better. Like, no.
It will be.
It's going to be better.
Yeah.
We're just going through a cycle, and especially with the way Memphis is positioned in the U.S. in general, the U.S. in general, but Memphis specifically, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, Memphis is just on a great trajectory. Oh, man. It is awesome.
Yeah, I believe in that, and we've kind of wrapped up our notes for this.
I'm sorry.
But I agree with you. I believe, having that right mindset and knowing that we're right in the middle of this is key, right? Like, I say this to you all the time because I'm constantly reminding myself, like, don't lie to yourself. Understand that this is what it is. It's called instincts. And
yes,
you feel it for a certain reason. And sometimes people's instincts are good and sometimes they're bad. But I mean, my point is that if you're in the middle of this now and you see, and we're telling you this, and every economist is telling you this, whatever, like, understand that and be prepared. Like, people navigate through this. People navigate through it and come out on the top end of everything. There's a lot of people that are going to take advantage of this. There's different ways and different forms of life, but in the real estate world, there are going to be people that are going to struggle right now.
Yes.
They're going to struggle to manage. They're going to have to sell. They're going to wait too long to sell, right? We talked about this. Some investors still have a little control.
Yes.
They're going to
control
lose,
and sell now.
Lose some control as this year goes on.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
the first part of next year is going to come in. They're going to really lose control.
I mean, rates are, we're turning a new month tomorrow. Rates are going up again.
They're going up again. That's going to
within 30 days they'll be up again.
Right. And if you're sitting there hoping that they don't because your numbers are tight,
you're lying to yourself.
You're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
And this is what this podcast is about.
Yes.
If you know that trouble's on the horizon, call me and let me help you get out of it while you got some control, right? Like, same sentence. If you know that it's going to get better, let's go ahead and start buying now. Let's get used to finding out what market we like. How does Dean and his team work? How does my banker want? Like,
there's a lot of stuff you can be doing.
You can be doing right now to set your mindset up and to set your business up. I don't care what level it is. You're doing it.
Yes.
You're at a very high level. I'm doing it, and I'm here.
You never
I'm
stop
still
doing it.
The guys that don't own anything need to be doing that and refining what they're talking about and doing as they're getting ready to jump into it. So I think this was a good topic. It wasn't necessarily as specific as maybe the zip code breakdown or, manage the manager, some of the other topics that we've talked about specifically here. But I think it was equally as important, if not more important, because you're setting yourself up for the future. You're betting on yourself. And if you can't bet on yourself, you like that?
Yes.
You're betting on yourself. And if you can't bet on if you don't feel comfortable betting on yourself, then what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Man, my favorite, one of my favorite self-help guys is Jim Rohn. He's passed away, but he's a mentor to Tony Robbins, Darren Hardy, a bunch of guys who are just killers. And he's like, if you go to work in your job or on your investments, you can make a living. Mm-hmm. But if you go to work on yourself, you'll make a fortune.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm coming from today.
Yes.
I'm not trying to, get all weird on you.
Correct.
But what I am trying to tell you is that your mind and the way you operate has a whole lot to do with the success of everything that you're doing. Yes. Marriage, business, friends, whatever.
And this is the opportunity to sharpen the saw, to focus, to do whatever you want. I mean, I think of, I like, if this is a true story or not, I always think about it, about the guy. You ever heard about the guy who's in the prison yard who's jogging the fence perimeter?
No.
He's just always jogging the fence perimeter, always jogging the fence perimeter, because someday the gate's going to be open. And he's gonna just take off running and be gone. And you're always preparing, always preparing. And someday when that gate is open,
he's gone.
You're never gonna see him again.
And that's perfect for what we're doing now.
That's what we're doing.
Keep circling the real estate yard. That gate is gonna open for you to come out that gate and get into the real estate world. But the
guy sitting out there on the on
the bench watching him, they're going to miss that door open. So prepare yourself and start to jog.
Yes.
This is great. Yes, prepare yourself and be ready for that door to open. It's going to happen. I'm doing it. I'm doing it with my company. I'm doing everything. I've talked to my bankers. I got an insurance call at 3:00. I'm not kidding.
Good.
Everything that I'm working on with my rental business, I'm sharpening the saw.
Practice. Yep.
Yeah. Anything else today?
That's awesome.
All right. Great show today. If you guys have any questions, Dean@CrestCore.com. I am going to say it again. I'm licensed in Tennessee and Mississippi as a real estate agent. I can help you buy or sell any investment property, anything you've got going, multifamily, it doesn't matter, whatever you got. So appreciate you guys tuning in today. We'll see you next time.